thanks to my friends on YouTube, was able to do some research and found many different ideas. What we want to build today is a little cart to move the kayaks and canoe around. Now the canoe's not heavy and the kayaks aren't heavy, but at 29 pound or whatever, sometimes with some of the kids that's their total body weight and at least half of their body weight, depending on the age of my grandkids. So once we get them out of the boat, because they like to carry them themselves and take them to the water, so they're either dragging them or I help them. So we're going to build a cart, and I've got laid out here what I think I'm going to use. Got these tires. They're pneumatic, air up. The rims won't handle a lot of weight, but they're for this will be perfect. Maybe just a little bit too much, but that's okay. Got these tires at Harbor Freight, store close to me, a neighboring town, $5. And for the axle, I did have to buy this. Bought it at the local box store. It's 5/8 all thread. A couple washers put on each side of the wheel, and got some stop nuts so they won't back off. So that's the axle and the wheels. The cart, I've got a total of 6 T's. I'm using 1-inch PVC. It's scheduled 40. I wanted it to be heavy because my grandkids knowing them, they'll probably jump on top of it and try to ride it. But anyway, so I got schedule 40. Total of 6 T's. Now, 2 of the T's going to go like this once I determine this width. So it's kind of universal for the boats that we have. I'll cut a nipple between here and here and glue it together. And then on each end, we're going to have a cap, and I'll cut a close nipple and glue this together like that on each end. So it'll look something like that. And try to keep these straight so they're not cockeyed. And at the middle of each one of these caps, I'm going to drill a 5/8 hole so that the all thread will go through there and just help support the axle. Now this isn't high speed, so I think it'll be okay. And then I'll put the washer right against that, and then that wheel will go there, and then we'll just have another washer here with that stop nut. So that's the base. Now coming up from that, so that'll be sort of like this. Now coming up from that, we're going to set a couple more T's like this, not that high, with another stiffener between there. So now it's going to look sort of like that, but a little bit more space coming up. Then we got their last 2 T's. They'll be up just a little bit like this, not much, just a little short nipple, and see if we can balance this. So we won't try to balance the other one, but anyway, you get the idea. And then we'll just have about 8-10 inch pieces sticking out this way with the cap on each end. And then in between that, I bought a, I think they call them water logs kids play with in the swimming pools. I'm going to try to get the hole a little bit bigger to slide in, so we have a good padding that won't scratch too much more the bottom of the kayaks and the canoes. So that's our idea, and I'm going to get some measurements and come back and show you as we cut the pieces. First thing I'm going to do is drill out these caps for the axle to go through. Just drilling a small hole first. I've already marked the center, and so that's those. And now I'll drill them out bigger, and then I'll use a 5/8 bit so it'll fit tight. Okay, got both of those drilled out to the 5/8, and I think it's going to work pretty good. Now I've already got on my 1-inch Schedule 40 PVC, I marked the 2 inches for the 2 that I need. So I'm going to cut those off, and I'm using a portaband, but you can use a hacksaw, you know, just about any kind of saw that'll cut this. It's just I have this, and it's handy. So, so there's my 2 2-inch pieces, and I'll clean those up, the burrs, and we'll clean them up, put glue on them, and glue those pieces together. I figured out that my kayaks were a little bit smaller in width than the Sports Pal Canoe, quite a bit. So about 18 inches wide for the parts that's going to stick out will fit there, and so I can use it on my canoe. I went it with that same measurement. So between the glue joints, 15.5 inches, that puts the outside of this at 18. So I needed 2 of those, because if you remember, we're going to space this up just a little bit. We'll figure that out here in just a minute. So I got these cut, I got the close nipples cut, so I can glue that part up for those. So now we've got to figure these out. And to me, that's going to be dependent upon the height of the wheel, the radius of these. Now these are these tires that I got, so there's about the center. I want these parts that's coming here to be at least higher than this wheel. So, you know, if we stick about that high, we'll be somewhat okay, I believe. And those are approximately 6-inch nipples, and that's kind of what I was thinking on. So if I cut 2 6s, one here and one here, and then cut about a 3.5, I think we'll be okay. So 2 6s, 2 3.5s. I'm going to go ahead and mark those, cut them, and then I'll get back with you. We got most of the pieces cut and cleaned up and ready. I'm going to use a primer. Not going to be water in this, I don't have to worry about it leaking, but I really kind of want it to be strong. So if we can clean the impurities off of the pipe and then put the glue on, which I'm using just a plain medium PVC cement. I thought about getting the extra heavy duty, but I think this will be strong enough with the primer. And each piece is going to be primered. Now, do be careful when you're using this. Probably should have rubber gloves on, but it does, whatever it touches, it stains. And it doesn't take a whole lot. So just, you can see I probably used too much, but it does clean it. And then just let it dry. So you're getting the idea. So I'm going to go ahead and prime all these, and then we'll come back and glue them. Okay, my pieces are all primered, and I'm ready for my glue. Now a little trick, because we want these to be glued to where they're nice and straight up, and we don't want them cockeyed like this. So what I do to make it simple is just a large board and lay them on, and we get the glue. It doesn't take a whole lot of glue, and we'll put one on. I like to turn it to get a nice even glue joint all the way around the plate, and let that set up a little bit. And then we're going to do the same thing on this other side, but to keep it straight, we'll press it down on the board and push the T's on the board so that they're nice and straight. As you can see, they're kind of cockeyed. Just push on the T and everything's right there. And I don't really want to turn it, because as it sets up, it gets harder to turn. So there's our pieces, and now we're going to glue on the short pieces, and then glue these on. Then we'll use the board again. I'll turn it sideways to glue these on, so that these are nice and straight with this T, only in the perpendicular like this. And then I'm going to glue the pieces on here and these pieces up here. And okay, I'm going to glue the short nipple on to the other cap, and then I'm going to put it onto our framework. As you can see, it goes right up against. So I'll just wipe that glue off, clean it up. Okay, framework is somewhat almost glued up, and I went ahead and decided to make the top, cut 8-inch nipples, got those cleaned, primered, and I'm going to glue them on here. And really, I can't figure out a real good way to make sure that they are at right angles, other than just guessing. Okay, so that's what we're going to try to do, and put it in. And then with the arms, I can just look and see and try to eyeball it and get it nice and square. So that's what we got. Now I'm going to take, left this one open right now, I'll show you why in a minute, but I got this waterlog, fun noodle, water noodle, whatever you call it, and they already have a small hole in the middle, and I was kind of hoping it would stretch out, which it will. So I can make that work in there, and I'll put this in here, cut these, and then I'll put the cap on, and that'll stick up and keep the canoes from getting scratched off of the fittings and the kayaks, etc. So that's what I'm going to do on these two, and probably I'll go ahead and put this one on and do the same thing. So let's just do that right now. So that's that one. Now we've got to figure out how much we can cut the noodle to get our padding. And I'm going to measure that out. The caps will glue on about 1 inch. So I've got a total of 7, so I can cut subtract that inch, so I'm going to go ahead and cut 3 for now, 6-inch off of here, off of that noodle, and get those slid on, and I'll get back with you. I marked out the 6 inches that we want for 3 of them for now. I'm just going to use a knife to cut them. Works pretty good. There's one. Just eyeball them. And I got 3 pretty decent, cut pretty good. So now I'm going to spread them out, try to, and get them down on the pipe. Again, it worked pretty decent. Now we're just going to glue these end caps on. There's the end. Now we still have one arm to finish, but I got a different idea I want to try there here in just a minute. But now I want to put the wheels on. So I went ahead and put one stop nut. It's got the wax type stuff, plastic, paraffin, whatever it is, inside to keep it from backing up. Got that on one side. And put one washer. And I'm going to put one tire on, and another washer up against. Then I'm going to slide it in the end caps where we drilled the holes. And get it lined up here. And as you can see, gives us a washer up against that, and another washer out here. So then we're going to do the same thing out here. Put this washer on, the other tire, another washer. And then, before we put this on, figure out about where that nut's going to be, and then I'm going to mark this so I know where to cut that off. Now we can use this porta band, that's why I got it out, so we can cut this metal. Now normally, when I'm cutting all thread, I'd put a nut on, cut it off, and then thread the nut off to help straighten out the threads. But with that stop nut, I didn't want to destroy this yet. So, because once it bites in, you take it off, they tell me it has a little less holding pressure the next time you use it. So, let's put it back together. Another washer, and then we're going to start the nut. That started right up, good. And I'll hold the nut on this side with these pliers, and then tighten this one up. That's pretty much what I was wanting to go after. See, the wheels turn good, and like I say, it's not a high speed, unless fast as it's gonna go is kids running. And originally, what I'd seen on YouTube was just another little piece, and then they'd put a strap around it to help hold it on for trekking, you know, maybe for portaging or whatever. But for us right now, anyway, it's just getting it from the vehicle to the water. And but I'm thinking rather than a little short piece, I'm thinking about bringing a short piece, putting the pad, and this is what's left of a 10-foot piece that I started with to build this. And I haven't cut the 8-inch piece off for this one yet, if I do that, but I got 42 inches left, so it takes a little over 7 foot if you just do that and build that. But anyway, I'm thinking about putting this in. Okay, thinking about putting this in here, like this. Another idea that I seen on YouTube. A guy just kind of made a kickstand, and I kind of like it. It holds it, keeps it from smashing down in, and then when the boat was on it, this kind of slammed up against it and held it. And so I just went ahead and used the rest of the water noodle, put it on there so that this didn't come up and hit. And it'll give us something to hold it and move it when it's by itself, and probably give the grandkids something to grab a hold of while they're sitting on trying to ride it. But if I decide to go back and kick it and get it out, I can always slide these up. I cut them in pieces to help slide them on in case I change my mind, and I can always even cut one out and heat it and bend it to where it's out here. So can always make the changes. But there's our first kayak and canoe cart completed. Some of the stuff I had. Now in the beginning I started telling you how much everything was. As I said, I bought the tires of Harbor Freight, and the 1-inch Schedule 40 PVC I bought at Lowe's. It's like $2 for a 10-foot piece. Ended up using it all, but you'd have about 3 foot left if you just used the pieces here. Some of the tees I had, again, it took 6 1-inch tees. Some of them I had, some of them I bought. I'm thinking they're like $1 a piece. The caps I did not have, I bought them. They're like 46 cents, 50 cents a piece. And the washers I had, the all thread I did not have. I think it was $5 for a 3-foot piece out of the hardware section, and the nuts were 50, 60 cents a piece. So I really added up yourself. I don't know how much I had in it, but it's going to be well worth this money for what we're doing. The grandkids, they like to help me get it off the boat, but they just not big enough to hold it. So I'm kind of anxious to see them try it. Was kind of hoping one of the grandkids would be here so I'd get them to try it, but they'll be here later. I went ahead and laid a strap, just laid it across the tires, and then once the kayak gets on, we'll flip it over and strap it down, just like they would. I'll probably have to help the young ones do this, but we're just going to give it a shot. So I got the strap ready. Now these kayaks are small, but my grandkids are small. So you take it out of the truck and set it down. They pick it up, which they can do this part. Put it on here, in the middle. Comes up, and it does hit, so that's good. And just kind of hook the straps together. Tighten it down. And they wheel it around. Works fantastic. And even the little ones can grab a hold of this and pull it. So that works out good for the kayak. It's small enough, but yet big enough, heavy enough. I can also use it on my sports bow canoe. So really anxious now to get them going. Right now we're using my old truck, but one project that I got into making, in my head anyway, I've been drawing and designing. I'm going to make a rack that will fit in here in my little utility trailer, and we'll store all the kayaks, canoes, etc., and be nice and safe. And we'll get a hitch put on one of our other smaller cars so we don't have to take the old truck. It's a gas guzzler. And then eventually the plan is also to take the rack out, and it'll mount down by my barn and cover them up and store them for the winter so it'll have multi-use. That's the plan, but so watch YouTube for that one. But for now, thanks for watching. God bless.